there's 10 things I hate about my micro camper van. And some of them you wouldn't expect. Granted, some of them are mistakes that I could have avoided quite easily. If I'd have done my research before actually buying this, I would have known that it comes in a short wheelbase and a long wheelbase. It was my first van. I got excited. I'm impulsive. That's what happens. Cue all the comments calling me a dick. But the size is probably the biggest problem that we have with this van. The bed basically stretches from there all the way down to about there, and then I have to lean the front seats forward and my feet hang over it slightly. The bed in that is 5'4", I'm 6'2", so I do hang over quite a bit. Either that or I sleep in the fetal position. It's not just mega bad things on this video, I also love the size. I love the fact I can fit in a normal parking space in a supermarket. Number 9, this is another one that's quite simple that you wouldn't really think about. There's too many things I could buy for this. Too many of these have been written off in the past. Now that's just because they're so nippy, they just fly around, they zip around everywhere. You can get all the parts stupidly cheap. Front colour-coded bumper, dead cheap. The bonnet guard, again, came off a written car, dead cheap. Even the roof rack up there, I'll explain that in a minute, but that came off a written off one. These backlights at the top there, interchangeable parts, they came off a 2020 Ford Transit Connect, and it fitted absolutely perfect there. I can't really complain really about that, can I? But my bank balance just goes dwindles down. But those backlights on their own make it look a lot younger. Another one where I'm the actual problem. I hate the fact that I really do like 2008 Ford Mondeo ST 18-inch alloys, because the tyres are like 300 quid for winter ones anyway. Here's something that just bugs me now. I don't even know what we're on, 7 or something like that. The registration plate, to me, sits extremely low down compared to what it should. But that's where the actual mounting bolts are for the registration plate. You have a look. It just seems like it sits dead low. I know it's picky. I love the fact I've got free renewable energy, as in a solar panel up there. But that doesn't do well in the winter. It just doesn't charge up very well, because normally we're in really cloudy weather. Granted, today's absolutely beautiful, so I've seized the opportunity and I'm charging up the EcoFlow. This isn't a sponsored video, this isn't anything like that, it's just something that I love. But press the button and boof, we're charging up really nicely just off the winter sun. I do love my solar panel on the roof, and I do love the fact it's reusable energy. I just wish that I'd, again, done a load of research and got a bigger panel on the roof. If I would have got 200 watts on the roof of that, I wouldn't be in this situation where I need to park up for a few hours and let the EcoFlow charge up so I can have heating tonight. Well, why don't I just get a diesel heater? One, because this van doesn't have that much space inside. I can't put a lot of stuff in there. I can't put a gas stove, I can't put a sink, I can't put a tap. So it's always going to be classed as a partial camper. It's going to be worth more money as a part exchange as a van. So I want to be able to put it back as a van eventually for part exchanging. Plus, I get to keep all the solar panel and stuff for my next build, saving a bit of money on the next build. I don't want to be drilling holes this big in the floor of the van to accommodate a diesel heater in a van that doesn't have space for a diesel heater. Do you know what I mean? This is sort of future thinking. Here's something that really bugs me, and it's only something really small and petty, but it really does bug me. Remember when the van got broke into? You know, that video that went massively viral? That's the new pane of glass that they fitted, and this one is the driver's side one. Down here, you can see the little Ford logo just there. Well, that one has got something called PG something or other. I don't know, it's dead picky, it's dead tiny, it's a small little thing, but it bugs me. Back to the size of this. I hate that I've got nowhere to put things. Everything in the back over there is dumped on the bed. Obviously I've got various places for different things and bits and bobs, but then I've run out of space, so now I get stuff dumped on the bed, and then when it comes to bedtime and I move this seat forward and tilt it forward, everything gets jammed down there while I put the curtain up behind us. I wish I had more space, or I was a lot more creative with storage space in the back there. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have got storage. I've got storage on the back door just there. I've got a shelving unit there, which is 3 shelves deep. I'm an overthinker, so the bottom shelf is just full of stuff like the air compressor to do the tyres, the jack, the tyre wrench, all that sort of stuff, antifreeze and blah-de-blah. I've got a hiking bag there. I wish I had a better place to put that one, because I don't use it every day. I use it probably twice a week. But even towards the top of the van, above the storage there, that's all the storage space I've got for clothes. Now, this time of year, when there's a lot of condensation kicking around, I've woke up a few times and those clothes have been wet, and I've been like, oh, I'm going to have to try and take them back down to the laundrette and do that sort of stuff. So basically, the biggest problem with this van is the fact that it's so small, which is another reason why I'm looking at a bigger van. I've been going through loads of stages with a bigger van. Get this, I need your opinions on some of this. So I was looking at a Ford Transit Custom, and then I spoke to a few garages, and that's one of the most unreliable vehicles on the road today, apparently. They've loads of DPF issues, gearbox issues, engine issues, big expensive issues. So that instantly put me off, because I went to 5 different garages, and 3 of them told me the exact same thing, and they all had Transit Customs in. With the amount of mileage that I do, 30,000, 40,000 mile a year, I need a reliable van. So that put me off that instantly. And then I was going around checking a few of them out in the Campervan showrooms, and they just weren't, they were cramped. And that's not me. I want a big double bed on the back, sideways. And then I looked into how you can actually register your van as a motor caravan, which is how we do it in the UK. And you need to have a bed that's 1 meter 80 wide long. You can't do that sideways on the back of a Sprinter or anything like that. So I started to look at like the Peugeot Boxers, the Citroen Relays. They're all the same van, and the only thing that put me off with them is their reliability and lifespan. The reliability, they have a lot of injector problems, and the parts are hard to get when they do have problems, and they're hard to diagnose when they do have problems. So that one went out the question when I found their lifespan was only 150,000 miles. I do 30 to 40,000 miles a year. That's only a couple of years worth of work for a brand new vehicle for me before I have to find a home for it. That's led me down to the option of 2. So I've got a Mercedes Sprinter or a VW Crafter. I went out in a Crafter yesterday, and I'm pretty certain the Crafter's the one for me. I don't know. What do you guys reckon in the comments down below? I'd like to know if you use them for work rather than as a van life thing, because workers, they do the same mileage as me. I'd love to know what they think on a VW Crafter or a Mercedes Sprinter. I don't know. That'll be coming in January anyway. I hate that I'm lazy. I am a lazy van lifer. Let me show you. So there we go. Like I say, everything's everywhere because I've got nowhere to put everything. And when I do drive, it all falls off and goes into different places. I've got a bit of storage space down there, and I've got my table and stuff like that. Anyway, see how the bed is split there? It's because this is a single bed that pulls out into a double bed. I'm too lazy to put it back as a single bed and use the floor space as a bit of storage, which means I can no longer get down into the storage compartments all the way down there without putting the bed back to how it was. Poor design feature from my end, I think. I do have a cool Ford bottle opener though. And I get down to the lack of space every time I open this door. Oh no, nothing's falling out. There we go. So what can I do? I've got my fridge down there plugged into the electrics, which are down there, which I can't physically get to the electrics because I've got so much junk. Laundry day, I've got some laundry. Dehumidifiers, because I need to put them around. That's an empty gas bottle that I'm waiting to recycle, because you have to recycle that properly. But my electrics, I wish, there they are, all the way down there. I wish I would have put them a little bit higher, solely because when I plug my phone in, my cable doesn't reach to the top. And that fridge is so small. It's a little 8-litre fridge, so I can basically fit in it a little tiny block of cheese and a pint of milk. I did used to have a good storage compartment on the roof. I had a big rooftop box, but that somehow magically disappeared when a height restriction came into place. If you're thinking about getting into a camper van and building your own van and stuff, avoid a silver one, because I don't know how well you can see that. That is only 120 miles worth of grime, and it is disgusting. It shows the dirt too well. When I open the doors, so basically say I'm sat on a cliff and I've got the back doors open and I'm sat there watching them, I have something called approach lights. See that light? That is on every time the doors are open. Now, I have found a way to eliminate that. Just grab that little click and hear that beep. Let's go back out and check it, and the approach lights should be off. But I went through 2 flat batteries before I realised that was the cure. Back on the space. I wish I had enough space for a toilet. Public toilets, parking somewhere where I've got to find somewhere where I can use the facilities. It's getting old. It's getting old really fast. January, I'm getting a bigger van. And that's one of my first installations apart from a bed. Because this is only such a small van, it's based off a Ford Mondeo. I can't carry a lot of weight in there. I think I can only carry about a ton of weight in there, so I really have to be careful. But not only that, it's not got the best suspension, and that's solely because, again, it's based off a Ford Mondeo. So I have to balance it really, really well. I can't put a heavy unit this side and the water tank this side. I'm going to have to balance it really nicely throughout just to get it to sit nice and level, so I don't wear the tyres out on one side too quick. 300 quid for tyres? I'm not going to wear those tyres out. Just think, with a bigger van, I'll be able to have what you lot would class as a proper camper van. A sink, a tap, a cooker, a toilet, a double bed, space, storage. Oh, I do absolutely love this van. This was all the stuff I hate, but there's a ton of stuff I love as well. And just look at her. She looks good, she drives well, she's got great fuel economy. It's going to be sorry to see her gone, If you're new around here, subscribe.